Denver, one of the most sinful cities in America?
Ah, damn. That means I'm behind the curve. I got some sinning to do.
Make it number one. Make it number one. Make it number one.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
You only have a pastor and a Catholic educated kid here.
Yes.
Why are we number one?
Why aren't we? Why can't we go and do more sinning? Again, I'm a Catholic kid. I remember the time in which you did indulgences. I'm thinking, hey, we got some opportunity to make some cash here. Get an extra revenue stream. We keep doing the sinning. We then go to that indulgence thing. There's a revenue stream we can get invested in. I like that.
It's 8 o'clock in the Mile High City on this Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. We'll get to this after news and comment with Blake Olson. Mile High Sin City. Denver ranked as one of the most sinful cities in America. Look, I've been saying that Colorado hates Christians at this point, makes us sue constantly in order to be able to live out our faith. Maybe I haven't been wrong. I tend to pick up on these vibes. All right, let's go to Joan in Lakewood. Good morning, Joan. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning. So, Bill was asking, how we can go forward as a GOP. And I believe that actually Jeff has the answer, because Jeff has been talking about coalitions, and in Elbert County, the school board passed a very good slate, and they did it because there was the GOP that had been there, but there was also the Peppers group, which operates outside the GOP, and they all come together. And I'm watching right now here in Colorado. I was contacted the other day by a man who's thinking he's going to run for Brittany Patterson's seat, and he's trying to put together all the coalitions in Jefferson County.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, Joan. Yep, Dee's wonderful out in Elbert County. She's done a great job with We the People. And if how we run campaigns is the process to win, it's definitely going to make everyone's heads explode, because we're unabashedly conservative. We're just like, yeah, the problems you all have out there is due to the Democrats. Don't let the libs win. And then we won big. So maybe that's all we needed, was to just make fun of Democrats.
I think it's true, and you've been giving me some really great information today, because we did have a meeting last night. A coalition of people pushed back with the city planning on some annexing that they're planning. They put this plan together, and it didn't go forward. They just said, oh, this is just paperwork we're doing for the state. We're really not going to do this plan. It's just paperwork. And it's one of those things where a whole bunch of people were in the room, and they had all sorts of different affiliations. There were Democrats there, there were Republicans there, and it wasn't a party situation. It was issues.
That's right.
And that's how we're going to win, is issues.
You got the optimism, Joan, we all need. I appreciate it. That's Joan from Lakewood. Appreciate the call. Give us a call. Her line will be open, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Good Thursday morning, 41 and cloudy in Denver, expecting a high of 52 today. 45% chance of some rain in the area. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, DJT has reportedly signed off on a Russian-Ukraine peace plan. Matt Bonner with NBC News.
As things stand, we don't know too much about this proposal. For starters, it's more or less come out of the blue, and not even the Ukrainians seem to know too much about it. 3 U.S. officials told NBC News that there are a number of details that still need to be worked out.
A senior administration official says the plan has been in the works for several weeks, with top U.S. officials consulting both the Russian envoy and Ukrainian representatives. The U.S. delegation arrived yesterday in Kiev to meet with Ukrainian officials. The bill calling for the release of the Epstein files, has been signed by 47. It's unclear when the remaining files will be released to the public now the DJT has signed it into law. 47 will welcome, that is, all 20 hostages released by Hamas last month to the White House today. The hostages were released as a part of Trump's ceasefire deal brokered with Israel. And on that subject, WTF.
Local authorities in Gaza are reporting further deadly Israeli strikes in Khan Yunis as an outbreak of violence that began on Wednesday continues. At least 28 people were killed, including 9 children, in Israeli airstrikes that targeted Khan Yunis as well as the Zaytun and Shijaya neighborhoods of Gaza City on Wednesday. The attacks came after the Israeli military said Hamas violated the ceasefire by firing on soldiers in the Khan Yunis area. No soldiers were injured in the attack that allegedly occurred inside Israeli military-controlled territory. Hamas called the Gaza airstrikes a dangerous escalation. Blake Sifton, Tel Aviv.
No question. In Texas, Governor Abbott doing the right thing.
That's why I sent the letter to officials both in Dallas and Collin counties to urge them to take action to root out any Sharia courts, and I am deploying the Texas Department of Public Safety to also root out any Sharia courts anywhere in the state of Texas. To be clear, the Texas Constitution does not allow Sharia courts or Sharia law. Texas statutes have banned Sharia law, and we are going to pursue this until we purge any attempt to impose Sharia law in Texas.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney, his funeral services will be held today in the nation's capital in about 1 hour.
Hey, a question for you guys on this real quick. Do you think we get Donald Trump without Dick Cheney?
Ooh. Oh, that's a great question. Probably not.
Because he set the pathway for like a very aggressive, powerful executive branch under Bush.
Ooh. Yeah, that's interesting because I think there are choices and changes that happen inside of the GOP because of Dick Cheney. And I like what you're saying about the aggression and the forward thinking, but I also think the other side of that is the evaporation of the neocons and that movement based on what happened post Cheney, that arm kind of went a different direction and disappeared. And I'm curious that if you did have a strong neocon wing, would there be as much space for Donald Trump? And what would it look like, especially, the strong neocons about bringing democracy around the world, etc. And Trump comes out with the message of America first, pull up the drawbridges, we need to be more isolationist. I'm curious if that would have worked inside of the GOP at the time. So it could be that Donald Trump is a product of both Dick Cheney's successes and his failures.
Bill, I think that's a perfect analysis. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's all.
Couldn't
I'm
agree
going
more.
home now. Goodbye.
See you later, Bill.
Yeah, goodbye. Headed home. See you later.
Awesome.
Bye. It was a great show. Woo! Yeah, this is wonderful.
Get out while you're on top. Wasn't there a whole Costanza thing? Like leave the meeting at the peak?
Yes, at the peak. Leave the peak. Yes. Yep, exactly.
That's right. Hey, and you could add his daughter in there as well. I think she had a lot to do with it as well. Or at least the continue.
All right, so here's a question I
popularity.
got for you, Blake, about that. Do you see Marjorie Taylor Greene starting to walk down the same path that Liz Cheney did?
Oh, crap, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
I do too.
She's kind of being exposed. She's helping herself. Yes.
Like she
to answer your question,
she went from a Trump ally to feuding with Trump to now apologizing for her tone. It seems like she's getting sucked into that world of anti-Trumpism.
Yeah, it does. And I think it all stems from the knowledge of her race in Georgia, right?
Yeah. Is she running for Senate there?
Yeah, and
she
was, and the polls showed that she was taking a hit. She was way behind, and I think DJT tried to help her or informed her of that, and she didn't like it. That's the story I heard. But yeah, I think she's on that path. I don't know who could end up being. I don't think anyone. For me, I don't think anyone could be more annoying than Liz.
Well, it's an
Really?
interesting path to go
Yeah,
down because Liz Cheney went down it, Adam Kinzinger went down it.
Yes.
The whole Lincoln Project. Yeah, I think what happens is you get kind of enticed by the progressive media. Like they give you a lot of attention because you're challenging President Trump. And then they drop you as soon as you're not useful to them anymore. Your political career ends. There's just nothing at the end of that road.
I can see that
what happened to Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I can see that on the conservative side as well because all the conservatives really like interviewing Fetterman right now. They love bringing Fetterman on.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
For what he does.
But is there a better future? Is there a
does.
better future for Fetterman, though?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I still think that Fetterman is playing to his district more than he's playing for national. That he understands that there are a lot of lunch pail guys in his constituency, and so he can't be super lib. I think he has to do is he has to tread that really old school Democrat, like JFK kind of a thing. I mean, that's where I think he's got to be. He's got to be something of a 60s, 70s style Democrat in order to make it in
Bill,
that area.
I don't think it's like as tactical as you're making it out to be.
Yeah,
I
really,
think Fetterman is just a guy who doesn't care. Like if he lost his job, he'd just go on to do other stuff.
Yeah, it could be.
Like with his life. And I actually think voters really love that. Like if you just kind of like, well, I did until Danielle Jurinsky lost her job. But I think if you're just like who you are to your core and you're not constantly dancing, people actually come to really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think they can. And the reason I'm saying he's going back to the older Democrat is because he's not, I don't think he's playing with some of the more liberal ideas inside of the party, but he still is a strong supporter of unions and those type of things, where I don't think that he is anti-free trade like some Democrats were 60s and 70s. I think he's more of a free trade guy, and I think that's where he sits. That's what I mean by where he personally sits. But I think you're right that it is not necessarily him being strategic about it, that's just who he is based on where he is, and he's serving that constituency because he's like, I don't believe all the really, really super left things, but I understand the importance of unions and other structures like that to my constituency here in my district. I'm curious with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm curious about the idea of going down the same path as Liz Cheney because oh my gosh, I don't even put them in like the same kind of a car or stratosphere because for me,
neither do I.
Yeah, see, for me, and I think it's different for us, Blake, because for me, I think Liz is whip smart. We can disagree about what she thinks and how she comes to conclusions, but I think she is whip smart, and I think she really understands politics. I do not have that opinion of Marjorie Taylor Greene. No. So that's why I think there's a difference on that area.
On that.
Wow, hey, that's fantastic.
I do. I think she's whip smart on politics, but she's dirty. She knows everything about the deep state, So I agree with you.
Interesting.
That's what that's the way I see it from her.
That's interesting. Okay, now for the three of us, since it's just the three of us talking right now here on the Jeff and Bill Show, 8:14 in the morning. Do we think that MTG is going to continue to caucus with Republicans, or is she going to be one of those independents? Now, she could be an independent and still caucus with Republicans.
Guys,
I don't ever
this
see her
is
join
what
the
This
Dems.
is
the
what
end of it for her.
Kinzinger did, and the
Yeah,
other guy.
that's what I wanna know.
Who was the other libertarian dude? I'm trying to remember his name. They all go independent,
Yeah.
and then they
Lieberman
lose
did
their
it for a while. Lieberman
seats,
did
and
it years
then
ago. Yeah. So
Then they disappear.
Now the thing is,
Yeah,
does she follow like the Lieberman Kinzinger role and then hang out with Dems and be an independent, or does she become an independent and lean still a little bit more towards the GOP people that she gets along with and hangs that way? I mean, what if we had to just look at the tea leaves or the crystal ball? What would you predict if we were, the carnival, future teller? We're sitting there and MTG comes in and lays down her $5, and we've got the silk scarves on, and we got the incense burning and this crystal ball in front of us, and we're like, we will see what the spirits hold. Blake, what do you see the spirits holding for Marjorie Taylor Greene?
If she does that, I mean, based on what I know about Georgia and where her district is, I think she's done. She is done unless she unless she becomes even more conservative and make some apologies. I don't see it happening.
Now we call the Colorado psychic line, and we get Psychic Hunt on the line, and he is peering into the nether regions, and he is finding out what the universe has in plan for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Nether regions. Who am I?
I'm glad you caught that. I wanted to slip that in for everybody who's listening closely. It's one of those little Easter eggs that I plant sometimes, and I hope everybody catches. Alrighty, yeah. So what do you think, sir? I'm so glad you got that.
I think there's this siren song that happens when you get to Washington, D.C., and it's a town dominated by progressives through and through, and they just go, come on over. The water's warm. We have all these opportunities. I think it happened to a certain congressman from Colorado that we never hear from anymore. Remember, he started criticizing the president on CNN, and they really liked it.
Yeah.
And then they said, do some more of that. We'll give you a little bit of more attention.
That's right.
And then it's like Hansel and Gretel. You just end up, being consumed by it, and you lose it all.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think that's, very, very clever. And I think that someone needs to tell Marjorie Taylor Greene that while the Democrats are saying, hey, come over here, it's because the water's really warm. It's really because someone peed in the pool.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So true. So true.
Speaking of nether regions. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the Nuggets at New Orleans last night, and
You're there, but
the Joker.
change it.
Behind the back, Watson throws it down.
Man, you can't see the video, but that was awesome. A behind-the-back pass. I mean, effortless from Nikola Jokic, who had another triple-double. And then Peyton Watson right there, who threw it down, career high 32, 125 to 118 the final. 40 in Parker, 39. Let's see, in where we got? 39 in Louisville.
There you go.
And 41 in Denver.
There you go.
And you are waking up with Jeff and Billy.
A
Get
pleasant,
your
mild day
nicknames
on this
into
Wednesday.
Bill.
Temperatures
It
in
is,
Denver will reach the low to
Thursday morning.
mid-60s, a
It's
mix of high clouds and sun. 30s tonight. Increasingly cloudy, cooler Thursday. Highs lower 50s early in the day. Turning colder later on with developing showers.
7-10.
Areas of rain and snow mix
mentality.
developing Thursday night, continuing into the day Friday, and cooler. 30s Thursday night. Temperatures on Friday only making the 40s. There'll be accumulating snow in the higher elevations and foothills. Temperatures will remain cool, but conditions dry for the weekend. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
All right, Denver, you need to go to church. You got a sin problem. This is coming from Fox 31. Most Americans could probably identify the most sinful city in the country, Las Vegas, with the nickname Sin City. It's not the only place that appears to love its vices, according to a new Wallet Hub ranking to identify the darkest corners of America. Study ranked 182 American cities on how sinful they are, and Denver made the top 10 most sinful cities in the U.S. The study looked at 7 areas of focus: anger and hatred, jealousy, excesses and vices, greed, lust, vanity, and laziness to determine the rankings using 37 data points, including things like violent crime, obesity rates, and online searches for illicit behavior. Mile High City came in at number 6 most sinful city in the U.S., according to the ranking, putting it with the likes of notorious sinful cities like Las Vegas, Miami, and New Orleans in the top 10. So Las Vegas, number 1, Houston, number 2, L.A., number 3, Philadelphia, number 4, Atlanta, ATL, number 5, welcome to Atlanta, where the players play, and then number 6, Denver, followed by Miami, Dallas, Phoenix. New Orleans was number 10. We're more sinful than New Orleans. Like, I've only been to that town once, and it was so weird. I, swung by a Walgreens, and there was a bunch of dudes in their 30s buying Pedialyte.
Oh, that's because of heavy drinking.
That's exactly what.
Oh, yeah. Yes. College Bill knows that trick.
That I just found so weird.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just, have 2 drinks. You had to have, 20 and then
it's that you have a plan.
Respond with Pedialyte the next day.
At least shout out to them having a plan going, this night's going to get out of hand. I got to be ready for tomorrow. And at least they're pre-planning.
It's so weird to me. All right. Yeah. Among Denver's most sinful categories were anger and hatred. Believe me, I've experienced that. Got kicked in the back covering a rally. And lust, both of which Denver came in at number 9. Lust. Wow. What are you guys searching online? Data points in the anger and hatred category included violent crime rates, bullying, hate groups, gun deaths, and mass shootings. In the lust category, the study looked at adult entertainment establishments, online searches for XXX entertainment, and Tinder, as well as teen birth rates. Study also looked at excessive drinking. In the excesses and vices category, Denver ranked at number 44 in the category as a whole, but the Mile High City was number 2 in the entire country for excessive drinking specifically. Y'all need to go to church. I looked this up. Colorado as a whole, Bill, is about a third of people attend church regularly.
Yeah, it seems about right, based on what I see.
You got to pump up those numbers.
Here's the thing: is I've seen people that I see in church on Sundays and drinking their asses off in the bars on Saturdays. So I've seen those people. So I'm not always convinced that sometimes that they prevent one or the other. I thought it was interesting the silos of where some of those excesses were. I thought that was really interesting, that we were really high in some levels and then we were lower on other levels. Like the idea of, what was it? It was jealousy and rank and excessive vices, or, so jealousy and excessive vices. So the idea is, we go ahead and we drink and we party and we do a lot of sinning, but there's some of it that is not necessarily in the greed. We also ranked fairly low. It seems like we have a certain predilection in our sinning, that we like certain types of sin, but we avoid the others. We're not an equal opportunity sinner, unlike people in New Orleans and maybe Vegas. So maybe that's where we're missing the boat. If we got to get to number 1,
I guess
we need to embrace more
we
sinning.
should be helpful. We don't have legalized prostitution. Good night.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
We're in need of some pastors and missionaries. Denver quickly becoming Nineveh and Sodom and Gomorrah as one of the more sinful cities. So to all you pastors, missionaries, street preachers out there, you got some work to do. We need some help. Get Colorado turned around. I've seen studies in the past that show direct government spending attributed to sinful lifestyles. So the more you sin, the more the government has to step in and take care, for instance, of children born out of wedlock. Those are increased services that have to pop up. Marijuana poisoning has driven a lot of emergency room visits, and that has brought the cost of healthcare up. So it ends up costing all of us. This is one of the criticisms I've had of the libertarian worldview, that, I should just be able to do what I want in my own privacy, in my own basement. Yeah, I end up having to pay for whatever you're choosing to do in the privacy of your own basement. So go to church on Sundays. It makes all of our lives better. Your life will improve as well. There you go. Denver, one of the most sinful cities out there. That is my sermon for the day. All right, we'll continue and get to the phone calls here. Let's talk Dan Caplis with Dan Caplis Law. Dan suggests you should choose a lawyer who shares your values because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Dan Caplis is the son of a police officer and a former seminarian who's dedicated the last 40 years of his life to helping people who've been hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law is the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis has not only delivered on all these great victories in motor vehicle crashes, he got a $200 million victory for the family who lost their little girl in that Glenwood Springs amusement park accident. He exposed that the company had processes that they were training their employees to bypass alarms. That was something that required in-depth research and a deep commitment to getting justice. Dan Caplis not only got justice for that family, he improved all the safety standards at all the amusement parks in the state, making your life better. That's how much we trust Dan Caplis. He's gotten justice for everybody. Dan Caplis is a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551 or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. Text messages coming in. Breadman, heretic, papists don't believe drinking is a sin. Cheers.
That's fantastic. Yes, we get to drink every Sunday. It's just really bad wine. Yeah, the problem. Yeah, and again, appreciate your Breadman. And just like Breadman, he gave us a name a little while ago. So when you are texting in, go ahead and please throw on a moniker, a nickname. It's the time to choose your own professional wrestling name. We don't want to refer to you just by the last 4 digits of the phone number. That's boring and stupid. We've added Four Corners Steve. We've got Suzanne. We've got Gold Brick, Marvin the Meat Hauler, Cap Hill Phil, and more of you sending us your names when you text in, even like KJC. Text in, give us your moniker. You get to choose your nickname. How often do you get to do that in life? Hit the text messages, give us your moniker, and we'll make sure to refer to you by that.
Bill, what's your gaming name?
Oh, my gaming name is absolutely really, really stupid because I don't want to do it because then people will find me online.
Yes, I want people to find you online.
No,
Come
because
on, Bill.
No, it's really ridiculously easy to find me because I did something that was just stupid and easy and it's not clever at all. And I'm not about to share with anybody because then I'm going to be stalked on PlayStation. So, no. But if you're really searching, it is super easy to find me. And I did it because I like visually what it looks like when you have to type it out. So it's a visual thing that I just like how it looks on the screen. It's
Sexy Bill 214.
Oh, God, no, I wouldn't, because anybody would see that would go, yeah, right. Hey, there's no way.
Did you ever, there were some funny videos online where it was like,
yeah,
people held on to the emails they first created, like in middle school.
Oh, my God.
And then had to, give it out for their employer.
Oh, yeah.
Could you give us your personal email, please?
Yes.
And it's like,
yeah,
Slay Queen 421 at yahoo.com.
Luckily, I had really boring first email names. My younger brother had combined the names of 2 bands and 2 songs that he liked, and it didn't make any sense when you're an actual full-grown adult, so he had to abandon that one, and I still tease him about it, to this day. But it was a combination of 2 different bands and 2 different songs together, and it made no sense.
You want to know what my gaming name is? I think I only play like 2 games online.
What is it? What?
Jeff Hunt.
Ah, see, there you go. There you go.
I'm not even trying to hide it.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
You can find me on... I don't even know, Wordle, I guess, maybe.
Wordle, yeah.
All right, we'll get to Joe next. You guys are listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
we have so many text messages coming in with people giving us their names. I love Herb, the conservative Jew.
Yes,
Herb's
this is awesome.
great. He comes to the events, too. So it's a lot of fun to hang out
We
with.
added in Peach Queen. Cure fan was saying sorry because he's a longtime downtown Denver bartender, and he said probably all the sinning is in due in part for him. And I'm like, hey, don't take responsibility, take credit. Celebrate this, my friend. Celebrate this, Cure fan. Nice to hear from you, man.
Gabe wanted us to make up a name for him, but that's just going to go down a road he's not going to like.
He's a Raiders fan, and we've already suggested some inappropriate names. We love you, Gabe.
All right, let's go to Joe in Arvada. Good morning, Joe. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Hey, morning, Joe.
Morning, Jeff. Billy, I agree with you. Jeff, everyone needs to go to church, but you can go on Wednesday. Wednesday night, we had 50. Last night, we had 50 baptisms.
That's fantastic. I'm
that's
glad to
amazing.
see that. And, Joe, tell people what baptisms are, why it's important.
Baptism is where you die to your old self and you're dunked in the water. You declare your faith in Christ by being renewed. When you come out of the water, you're outwardly declaring your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Now, Joe, can you tell us a little bit about who they are, the demographics of who's involved, and just a snapshot? It doesn't have to be about everybody there, but sort of the path that brought them. Because some of these, I'm guessing, not necessarily on the younger side of life. You're not doing babies. You're doing people that are kids, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even adults. Talk to the audience a little bit about the path that these people traveled to get to this with you.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. There were a lot of young people, but nobody really younger than, I think the youngest we had was somebody in the 10 to 12-year-old range, but that's a little young.
Oh, that's really
because
cool.
you have to be at the age of accountability. You have to know what sin is and turn your life from it. And repenting is doing that. Now, we can't do it on our own. God does it. God cleans the fish. Jesus turns our life around, but we have to be the ones willing to take an about face. We gotta leave that life. And so I was a wayward child. In fact, a young person, I should say. I will also tell you I have to give a speech to the men's prayer breakfast pretty soon on how forgiveness brings unity, and as appropriate to that, I'm actually going to focus on Luke 15, the parable of the prodigal son. Actually, that was named later. It really should be the parable of two sons. Because, the one son is in wild living and turns around his life. The other son is resentful and angry at the end of the parable. And I think that describes the people in Denver very well. We have the two groups, wild living and then the self-righteous group.
That's a great point.
And it's a very big problem. And I will tell you this, that the real core of unity under God is to repent, be born again, and dedicate your life to living like Jesus. And that will happen when unity will come together because of it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Colorado's always historically had pretty low church attendance. At one point I went through and analyzed it, and somebody covered it, but it was roughly around 30%, even at its peak in the 90s. Like, think Focus on the Family, Colorado Springs, like peak influence. It was like 34%, but has never really gotten above that. Colorado always historically about a third of people with regular church attendance. Why do you think that is?
Well, the nature of man is sin. Left to our own devices, no one would go to heaven.
But I guess why do you think it hasn't taken hold in Colorado the way it has maybe in the South?
Okay, the Bible Belt really kept hold of the Bible. Whereas here, we ejected the Bible. If you look at the blue states, we rejected the maintenance of the Ten Commandments. There was always, this libertarian bent is okay when it comes to things like decision making, but it's not okay with regard to rejecting God because it leads to an immoral society.
And I think it leads to a socialist society over long
Absolutely.
terms. But when you look at the history of Colorado, right, the people that came to Colorado when it was founded, think mid to late 1800s, right, or the Centennial State founded in 1876, they were people striking it out on their own. Right, so if you were an established family, for instance, in Philadelphia, you didn't come west. It was oftentimes young men looking for riches that helped establish the western part of the United States. That's why it's always been kind of libertarian in its feel, because it didn't have those established families the same way the East Coast did. But I think that has led it in this pathway of becoming more and more Democrat, more and more socialist. And as a result, ironically, we end up with a bigger government.
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the things that has happened, too, is if you look at Colorado and Washington as two examples, and California, they have or they have a definite lean against families. When I say that, if you look at how the human services are set up in Colorado and Washington, there's very much this pro-divorce, pro-abortion, breakup of the family. And, that actually leans into other things like transgender and so forth, because that is the enemy's game. It really is. The enemy wants us to break up the family. The core of Christianity is family, a husband, a wife, and children. That is the essence of Genesis 1 and 2. And then 3, we get some problems in the family. We have the serpent coming in to break up the family. That's exactly what the enemy's game is. And if you look in Colorado and Washington, two places where they really promote, single motherhood and the single fatherhood, although I think there's definitely leaning against the father. If I would love to hear somebody from Human Services tell me that they're favoring keeping families united. I don't believe it.
7833 texting in. Church attendance and educational levels are inversely correlated. The South is ranked lowest in education consistency, Colorado among the highest educated. I don't think that's right. I actually think that regular church attendance and academic success are correlated, not inversely correlated. I have found, for instance, that kids that are homeschooled perform wildly well on standardized tests and out in the workforce. They do great, and they often come from very religious communities. So I don't think that's right. But go ahead.
Well, what is education? If education is your quotient of wokeness, that's what you get from a public school's education, the quotient of wokeness. When you look at Charlie Kirk, a brilliant scholar, he never attended some people
community college.
Yeah, well, he was online with some of the colleges and aced all the courses that he took, by the way.
Hills down.
And when you go to colleges today, you just find this mostly focus on wokeness. What is keeping educated mean today? Are we educated in the Bible?
Yep. No, I think they're educated. Like what I've often said about government-run education right now is they can't pass a standardized test, but they can sure tell you that Republicans are Nazis. So I think they come out as these like little woke Marxists. All right, Joe, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks,
That's
Joe.
Joe from Arvada. Let's talk advanced hair restoration. For many of us, it's happening. Your hair might be thinning, your crown's disappearing. Maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity's lost altogether. Well, I got good news for you. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. Look, we've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have. But what if what you want is your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to world-class Dr. Tanya Pauls, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. I got a text message the other day from a friend going, hey, what's the name of that group that you talk about, the hair restoration? Advanced Hair Restoration. You get to decide how thick and where your hair grows. It's why Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver 2 years in a row now. So for your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 720-459-HAIR, 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR, advancedhair.com, advancedhair.com. We'll continue with your phone calls and texts. Lots of text messages coming in. Westy Carlos.
Hey,
Gotta
Westy
love that
Carlos.
name.
I like that one. A little jealous.
Brad from Parker's texting in. The Lost Jockey. That's a great one, too.
Yeah, that's
all
a good
right.
one.
You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
We are Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're talking a headline from Fox 31. Mile High Sin City. Denver ranked as one of the most sinful cities in the United States.
And how appropriate is this song?
Naughty by nature.
And OPP. I didn't pick this. This just happened in the system. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to keep this one.
Among Denver's most sinful categories were anger and hatred and lust, as well as being number 2 in the country for excessive drinking. At least we don't have casinos down here, and that's in part because of a campaign effort I was a part of.
Yeah,
they wanted to bring out casinos to Arapahoe, the dog tracks. Or horse? Is it horse tracks out there? Dog tracks? Maybe both.
Yeah, both. It would be both.
Both out there.
Yeah, because they ran because the company that owned the horse track eventually picked up the dog track, and yeah, they wanted to add the gaming to both tracks. And I know that you were on the other end fighting. I know that because at the time I was paid to announce the dog track races. So yeah, I was.
Really, you were out there going?
Yeah. Yes. Here comes Rusty. Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was one of the weird jobs I've had in my past.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you still do it?
No dog tracks.
Are we done with the dogs?
Yeah, their dogs are closed. Yeah, nobody runs dogs anymore. And horses are really difficult because of the distance and the description that is taken. And so if I really wanted to do the work and lean into it, yeah, they would have picked me up as a horse announcer. I didn't want to spend that kind of time. And there weren't enough shifts that were available for me to make it work.
You have to talk really fast, too.
Oh, oddly, I'm very good at that. But the one thing is, it has to do with how far the horses get away. It's really easy inside the dog track. It's basically 43 seconds of chaos. But it's a longer race, and you've got to pay attention a little bit more. If you watch horse race callers, a lot of times using binoculars because they can't see when they're talking about what's going around turns and on the far corners. They can't see that far. Dog track, much shorter, much smaller, much easier to see that one. Yeah. In fact, one of the dominant dogs when I was back renouncing greyhounds, if anybody all went out to the track, you'd remember the war deputy. That dog was a beast. He won everything he got entered into.
That's hilarious.
He was a monster of a dog. Anybody who's out the track will know the dep.
Here's the question I have for you all. We're clearly not Las Vegas. Are you happy that we're not? That we don't have casinos down here? Because I was part of the effort to keep that away from the city. And in part, if you remember, we covered the story about the fact there's not so many kids being left abandoned in cars because the casinos are so far away.
Yeah, because you have to actually make the effort to get there.
In Philadelphia,
yes,
they actually have a serious problem of kids being left alone in cars while mom and dad go gamble.
Yeah, people roll through that pickup line at the school and then stop off at the casino on the way home and forget, oh, yeah, the kid's in the car. Side note, just for that, Telluride, Kia Telluride. Their brand new version, they have radar internally in the car. And
so
part of it,
if there's movement?
Yeah, part of it is because if you leave your pet or your child in the car, it'll warn you. It also will set off the alarm if someone somehow bypasses the exterior. But one of the safety features is, because evidently enough of us have been leaving the little ones in the car, it now will alert you. We're that stupid, yes. Here's the thing. I would not want us to be Vegas. However, younger Bill loved the idea that at Vegas you had those adult Slurpees you could walk around with and everybody refilled them. That was fantastic. I'm not saying we should
alcoholic?
do it. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. The Big John giant
such
things.
A good Catholic.
And just wandering around. It was fantastic. Hey, I said a prayer every time I got a new one.
We're also asking people to give us their names they want in the text message line, so it's not just a phone number. Iggy saying, I have so many fake names, I forgot my real one.
I like that. Just pick the ID that's on top and we'll go with that one.
7760, go and call me an SOB. Sweet old Bill.
I love that one. That is going in. And we are keeping SOB, sweet old Bill. That is going in the system right now. I just pushed add. That's fantastic. That's a wonderful one.
So join the conversation. Would love to hear from you. Denver, more sinful than New Orleans at this point, but not quite Las Vegas. We've broken the top 10 out of 182 ranked American cities as one of America's most sinful cities. It's got to turn around, people. You got to go to church. We need some street preachers out there making it happen. We're on our way to becoming Nineveh or Sodom and Gomorrah, if you've ever read the Old Testament. So turn it around. Let's get going to church. Your life will improve. It'll make our communities better as well. But are you glad that we don't have casinos here? Because that may come back. Or legalized prostitution. We don't have that Las Vegas does. So are you happy that we're not quite Las Vegas? Love to hear from you. Give us a call at 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115.
I'd take all the shows and the concerts that Vegas gets. I'd take those.
Yeah, those would be cool.
Yeah. Although, okay, your opinion.
Brittany's weird.
Yeah, she is. But your opinion on the Sphere. Would you want something like the Sphere just outside of downtown Denver?
So I heard from the lady that cuts my hair that she went and saw Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
and it was amazing at the Sphere.
I have heard from so many people, and I haven't gotten out there, that have seen concerts that are saying it's incredible, but sometimes the visuals overpower the show on the stage.
Yeah.
The thing that I find weird is they do all the stuff outside. So if you're looking at the Sphere, you got stuff going all the time.
Right.
I'm not sure about that.
That would be kind of fun. All right, we'll continue next hour. Speaking of good cities, we're going to talk about Littleton and the upcoming Candlelight Walk. Alexandra Vanderpool will be joining us. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
We are Denver's talk leaders. Send us your nicknames. This is 710 KNUS.